Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ideanthro. And again, we're in the Netherlands. I'm super grateful because I got invited here by Asolo Patharana at the UNESCO IHE, and it's time for our second video from that day when I got to come out, speak to some postgraduate students at the UNESCO IHE about my experiences in water-sensitive urban design. And this time round, we are talking about some things that I actually learned from other people. This isn't like new thoughts of mine. This is me passing on knowledge that others were kind enough to share with me. And this is some thoughts about when you're implementing stormwater treatment systems in the streetscape, how some of the pioneers in this space realized that to make it work, to make it fit really nicely, you needed to change some of the street design, you needed to change some of the lot layouts to make this stuff fit really seamlessly. And so I passed on some of that knowledge that I got from others. I passed that on to the students in the course at UNESCO IHE, and we videoed it. And so it's your opportunity today to have a listen. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next time. And then finally, we then also started to get some really interesting integration of water-sensitive urban design and stormwater treatment into the streetscape in subdivisions. So this is, I don't have a more recent aerial photograph of this, but this is just north of Brisbane, a development that was going to happen on very, very flat land. So part of the problem with some of this stormwater treatment is if the land's really flat, it can be hard to get the space to make it work. Because we drew over here, if you can imagine if it's really flat and you need to filter water through a bioretention system, suddenly getting enough grade to get the pipe back out into the waterway, you then have to start to fill the development back up, and fill costs money. It can make the development uncost effective. One way to get around that is to build all the little stormwater treatment systems in the streetscape here, because I've actually drawn it this way here, because then the water can come off the roofs along the surface of the road and straight into the system. The other way that it can be done that doesn't work on flat land is if you capture the water, put it in a pipe at the bottom, and then take it to a stormwater treatment system. That's to bioretention system, pipe at the bottom, and then take it to the waterway. If you have a bigger stormwater treatment system that's not near the houses, you have to put it into a pipe first, then comes the treatment, then it has to drop through the treatment system again, and you've lost all this head here. So on flat land, people do it like this, and what it means is you end up with all these little stormwater treatment systems dotted throughout the landscape. You can see them all. There's one there, one there, one there, one there. And it means to make that happen, people have to start doing really interesting things with the design of the streets. So if you can imagine, if you're going to put, this is a really good example of it here. You see we've got a T intersection on the road, and we've got 3 stormwater treatment systems there. The traditional way, I'm going to use a lot of paper. The traditional way, if you had a T intersection in Australia and you built the houses, normally you would probably align the blocks like this and have the driveway. So that's the house on each of them. And you'd have the driveways like so. And similarly along here. The problem here, right, if you can imagine, we've got this T intersection here, and we need these 3 stormwater treatment systems. If you need to put a stormwater treatment system here, the driveway's in the way, right? And same thing there, and maybe the same thing there. So people started changing the way they were orienting the houses to allow this sort of thing to happen. So instead of having this kind of square block here, what they would do is have a slightly longer, narrower block with the driveway there, and then go back to the normal shaped blocks. And the same thing over here, longer, narrower. Whoops, I drew that last one a bit bad. But because then what it starts to give them room is room for stormwater treatment systems down the side. So we saw people in this early phase, in this early implementation, and they do the same at the end of the T, people starting to change the way we did the layout of the urban design in order to fit the water sensitive urban design into it. And this was able to make for some really, attractive spaces. So this is an example of one of these longer stormwater treatment systems. That's a picture, essentially, of one of those and the way that was rearranged. And so in a traditional development, there would have been a driveway. There would have been that driveway there, but they've turned the whole house block around to make it possible.